Another team in the NFL that has certainly ruffled some feathers with an agent.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Ruffled feathers with an agent. The Washington Commanders, new ownership, new leadership, new way of doing top 30 visits, even though Bill Belichick said he had done them by 12. They had 20 draft prospects in at one time. And there was a time earlier this week where Adam Schefter was telling the Trap or Dive podcast that they can go ahead and get their Jayden Daniels jerseys. Now, this morning on Get Up, after the 20-person visit, which is normally just one-on-one, even though Bill Belichick said he's done them by 12 before. Normally just one-on-one, especially at a number 2 overall pick, future of the franchise. This is what Adam Schefter had to relay from the Jayden Daniels team.
Seemed to go over too well with the agent for Jayden Daniels, Ron Butler, who sounded off on social media last night that he didn't seem particularly pleased with the process. I think Jayden Daniels thought it would be a visit with just him, meeting with the Commanders. Many people think that Jayden Daniels will wind up being the number 2 overall pick, but the Commanders essentially opened up the process.
So,
Ooh.
his agent's not happy.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And then does this mean Jayden Daniels? Is that why Drake May becomes all of a sudden his odds move for the number 2? Because Ron Butler, the agent, is not happy with the way Adam Peters and the new ownership over in Washington decided to do the 30 visits before the draft. AJ, what are your thoughts on all the controversy potentially brewing in Washington, or is this all bullshit?
Well, what is Mr. Butler saying? Is he trying to say if they draft him, we're not going to go there? Is that what he's trying to do? Because the team doesn't care if his agent is happy or not. The team will take whoever they want to take.
Oh, my.
That's true.
Could you fathom us on draft night and the draft spectacular with Bill Belichick there, and we have a Eli Manning situation?
Yes.
A John Elway situation? No, we're not going. Not for the number 1 pick. Wasn't the top pick of the draft.
No.
Number 2 overall pick. I'm not going to. I'm not.
Washington? They took us to Top Golf.
No,
I don't want to go to Top Golf. I wanted to go to laser tag. Damn it.
it wasn't because it was Top Golf. Top Golf is a fantastic.
We know that.
Sure.
Top Golf.
You know?
Oh, you think he was upset because it was a top?
Maybe he doesn't golf. Maybe he felt like they were putting him in a weird situation because he's never golfed before.
Well, then they'd be trying to evaluate somebody, try to figure something out, which is potentially a useful thing to have happen in the NFL if you're going to be a program quarterback. That's the spin that the Commanders will give it. But what if he was watching Drake May was just bombing balls?
Yeah, could have been.
He's like, look at this guy. He's the cock of the walk. Everybody, you put one off the back net,
Yeah.
let alone you clear one. Remember Josh Allen?
Oh, yeah.
Josh Allen came down to a Top Golf down in Atlanta whenever we were doing a shoot down there with the zone at the Top Golf. He came down and put a ball he put it out of the park, and it was like, holy shit. I couldn't even imagine if you're Adam Peters in a brand new Washington Commanders ownership, and everybody's at Top Golf, and maybe the new owner is just sitting right at one of the bays. Welcome.
Go on.
Need to see driver 9 and 7. Okay, need to see it. Let's see how this whole thing goes. Then you can go, hopefully mingle with the boys, get along with them, because we will be judging you on whether or not the boys like you over here. If you're weird, standoffish, kind of arrogant, we're going to find out. So make sure you mingle well. But right now, we need to see that driver. Go ahead. Drake May just put 2 out.
Yep.
Just so you know that. Jayden tops 2. I hate
All right.
this.
Snaps the club.
If this was bowling, I would have just killed everybody. What are we even talking about here? I do wonder if that's the case, or if it's because they feel like he maybe got disrespected and not having the full, because C.J. Stroud, we were told, with the Houston Texans, number 2 overall pick last year. He came in and he talked to the entire front office. He talked to the entire building. They were really, so maybe Ron Butler's like, this team isn't serious. This team isn't actually trying to, set this up in the right way. But maybe the Commanders have a lot more questions than people are giving them credit for. Maybe they are trying to do some new stuff and figure it out. But I don't like whenever an agent is the story going into a draft. They're already trying to find enough shit on all these guys so that they can drop them down the draft. Don't need the suit who's supposed to be making the money ruining everything, but this might be a plan to get him out of there and get him to a place he wants to be. So I guess we have to withhold judgment at least for a little bit. What about the agent? Is the agent just working to try to get him out of that pick, or what do you think's happening there?
We saw the agent tweeted the other night, essentially, that he tweeted all these emoji signs, and I think what happened there, let's be honest, is that Jayden Daniels was not particularly enthralled to be included in a speed dating group of quarterbacks. I think that he thought it would be basically by himself. He thought he would be going in there, and then shortly before the visit found out that Michael Penix Jr. is going in, Drake May's going in, J.J. McCarthy's going in. And so the dynamics change. Again, I point to the Bears. The Bears brought in one quarterback, Caleb Williams. One guy. They didn't bring in four guys. They didn't bring in four guys at once. They brought in one quarterback. They sent a message. This is our guy. The Commanders get to do whatever they want to do. It's their team.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, that's kind
right?
of that's kind of the angle that I think a lot of us, as soon as we saw the tweet that you saw, we're like, oh, shut up, dude. Like,
Yeah.
But by the way, the Commanders had the second pick. They don't have the first pick. So now we all expect that Caleb Williams is going one, but he still hasn't. So you have to act as if anything could still happen. The Commanders are in a great position of power, but it's not number one. It's number two. And we, again, all expect Caleb Williams. So,
Jayden, what if this is a compliment, Jayden? What if they think you're going number one, actually, to Chicago, and they're thinking maybe we're going to have to take one of these other quarterbacks. We'll have him in here with – now, you think everybody's on the same page. It's Caleb. But Washington, if they wanted to spin this to the agent and be like, oh, relax, this is a compliment to Jayden. We actually think there's a chance he goes number one. We're either going to bring in Caleb, who we already like. Mm-hmm. He's from here. We know him. Everybody will love him. Or we're going to bring in one of these other guys. So we had to bring him in. Had to see how it was. Is that what they're saying? Or are they saying this is how we're going to do things and this is our draft process? Sorry you don't like it. Because Bill Belichick said he's brought in 12 guys at one time before. Adam Peters worked for Belichick back in like 2003, I think. So it's not like abnormal, I guess, but I never heard of it before this particular situation. How do you think both sides are, like, how are the Commanders describing it? And is Ron Butler just trying to work his guy out of a team?
Well, I think that the Giants, again, just as an example, many teams bring in many players at a group on one day. The Giants had all three elite wide receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Roma Dunze, and Malik Neighbors, all on the same day. They had quarterbacks all on the same day. Like, teams do that. Everybody's got a different approach. You could decide what you believe is the right one or the wrong one. I think in this particular case, by the sense of Ron Butler's emojis, I don't think that Jayden was particularly pleased with the way that was handled.
Okay.
Again,
he stinks at golf. That's what we're thinking. Yep. We're thinking there's a chance he stinks at golf. We're thinking he topped a couple, Drake put a couple up.
No one wants to be exposed for being a poor driver at Top Golf, when you're on a visit like that.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
You don't want that.
It's embarrassing.
But Jayden's an athlete. We assume he will have that figured out.
Yeah.
We assume Jayden.
Come on. We watched him play last year. He's a stud.
All right. Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you for taking this call in the middle of the airport. Thank you for clarifying some things.